Well, January has been pretty friendly to us, with John doing well in the transfer window so far, but with deadline day looming just around the corner, I'm starting to get a little bit nervy. We've also got a stark contrast in domestic and European form. We're in a two-horse title race in the Premier League, but in Europe, we are really struggling. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 131 of this FM23 Head Coach story with me, Daniel. We are back for the final two games of January as promised, two very tricky away games and two that could have very different consequences for our season. We have, though, got some positive news before we get into that. A right back has joined the club, which is a miracle in itself, albeit we've paid slightly over the odds. He can't play in the first game today, but he is here, and that is the main thing. We've also seen a midfielder leave for big money, and John has still got 5 days to get things right or wrong yet. But for now, we've got to talk about, well, contrasting form in two competitions, because we've had a few hiccups against our former side, Crystal Palace, domestically, but it's not cost us too much. And we've also got a great opportunity to win a trophy, which is something we have got to consider as we continue to rebuild this club. We have a look at the schedule for what's been going on. As you can see, the woes away from home in the Champions League continued. That was a defeat of Porto last week. So annoying, it's a game we've dominated. And the goals are just drying up the last few weeks, partly due to injuries, a lack of form, and with the extra games, we're just struggling with fatigue. I cannot wait for that winter break to come around. To be honest, after the Liverpool game, I'm going to send loads of the first team on holiday. We'll gamble a little bit on the Peterborough tie. But if we have a look at what's been happening since the last episode, we started with a 3-0 win against Everton following those two good 1-1 draws against Bournemouth and Real Madrid. Joe North's brace added to Hervenhoff's early header. A 3-1 win away at Spurs in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. Guido's brace and base out made that comfortable. They got a late consolation. A 2-1 win against Villa. A very bizarre game again. Behind in 2 minutes, Joel North did what he does, and then another one of those ridiculous red cards. We got a 3-0 win at home to Nottingham Forest with Ocon and Joseph Taylor's brace. A 0-0 draw at home to Palace on Boxing Day, a really frustrating one. We did have loads of chances to win it, which we didn't take. Basically, whenever I've played Ocon up front, we've really struggled. However, we bounced back with a 2-0 win away at Spurs and the performance of champions. It looked like being another frustrating day. A substitute Joseph Taylor in the 91st minute, followed by Marco Demeter in the 92nd. A 2-0 win at home to Charlton for a heavily rotated side. Kakada's early goal, followed by another ridiculous early red card. Then a second from one heavy that wrapped it up before the break. A 0-0 draw away at Palace in the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final. A rotated side beat Plymouth 4-0 in the FA Cup. 2 for Kakada, 1 for Taylor, 1 for Ocon. A 3-0 win in a reverse fixture against Palace to send us to the Carabao Cup final. And look what happened. A big game, a cup semi-final. Another ridiculous red card early on. We were the beneficiaries this time, with Demeter, Hodgkinson and Taylor getting the goals. A 1-0 win in the 91st minute at Watford capped off an awful display, but we got the win. Not the case away at Porto. Champions League trouble continued, and this time we conceded a late winner. We did bounce back against Villa in the league though, a 1-0 win in that one. Very similar to the away game against them. Joel North getting the crucial goal. And otherwise, we were fairly unconvincing. George Robles, man of the match again in that game. And it leads us into two big matches. Fenerbahce, a game we need to get a result in. And Liverpool, a big one in the title race. But we've not had a big away game in the Premier League for some time. I know we mentioned Spurs there, but they are struggling in 11th. So the last time we played a top half team away from home, well, that was probably on camera last time where we failed to win against Bournemouth. I'll take a draw in this one though. We've got Peterborough in the Cup as we mentioned, but the Carabao Cup by contrast has turned into a real opportunity. In the quarter-finals, Manchester City were beaten by Newcastle, but it does mean that we go into this one probably just about as favourites, where we could have been against Manchester City and really struggling. Part of our success though this month has come from actually having a new fullback at the club. If we go through to the transfer screen, we've had one big out, one big in. We've got a youngster potentially joining the club. We're not going to worry about that today. But the big out unfortunately for us, was not one of the midfielders I wanted to lose. That man, Antonio Carlos, he went for 53 million to Bournemouth. There was interest from West Ham and Tottenham as well. He's a world-class midfielder with a great personality, but unfortunately, he wasn't playing regularly enough, and he was one of those who threw his toys out the pram, and John seems very set on not having unhappy players at the club. So he moved on. We can't compete with the wages of Bournemouth, which is ironic, but we've got a good squad, and we've got a lot of midfielders, so if we had to lose players, that position isn't the worst. You can also see just above it, Rogerio Lindoso has gone out on loan. He was one who again wasn't happy not playing much, so he's left the club. But that 55 million bought in for Carlos had been spent in advance on Lucas Steinlein. Might well be Steinlein, might well be Steinlein. I have no idea how to pronounce it. You can let me know that down in the comments. But from Gladbach, we have got a very good right back into the club. Good to have a real strength in depth, someone who adds a bit of quality to our 11. And if we have a look at him physically, not the best natural fitness, but stamina, acceleration, he's got the lot. He can actually defend, unlike Solis last year, and he's got some of those key defensive attributes. So I'm really pleased with him. He's played well in the 2 games he's featured so far. We've kept clean sheets in both of them. And as we look ahead to the rest of the season, that is a really crucial addition. But the big problem is, with 5 days to go in the window, we know we're only one accepted offer by John from being in a crisis again. So let's hope he doesn't sell any this time and just adds that depth in defence. As we do that, we get into the Fenerbahçe game with, well, a few problems, I think, in the Champions League. We're on 10 points, we're in 16th place at the minute, and technically we should be through to the knockout round because we've got to get in the top 24 and Lyon in 25th are 4 points behind. So we are going through to more European football, but we're going into a knockout round, and if we finish outside the top 16, the second leg will be away from home. Now, we don't want that. We want the Old Trafford advantage. So we've got to try and stay in this top 16. Let's go and get through the tactical meeting. Fenerbahçe away. I'm not able to rest as many as I'd like for this one. I'd like to have everyone fit for the Liverpool match, but we've got to get through. We've got to get in that top 16. No, I'm not taking any chances. It's George Robles in goal. Simmons and Humphreys the fullback with the other right back currently cup-tied. Deverley and Hervenhov are in at centre-half. Both of those need a rest. They're struggling with fatigue, but they can get through this game and the weekend. They can then go and have a holiday. Smith, Hodgkinson and Guido the midfield 3. Guido's not having a great time at the moment. Henry Ocon is going to play up front because North is the one I need fit for the weekend. He's the only man scoring at the minute, and he's the one I'm not taking chances on. Baysal and Demeter are starting to find form again. They're the 2 wide men today. So let's go and get into it. A big game at Fenerbahçe. It's not going to be easy, but they are bottom of the 36-team table. If we don't win this, we don't deserve to get through. And look who they've got on the left wing. I was not expecting a reunion today. Jimmy Campbell, a former player at both Ipswich and at Crystal Palace, is now at Fenerbahçe and playing in the Champions League. Fair play to him. From our point of view, we're going to tell the lads to prove a point. We're going to get through the tunnel into the first half. Probably the least important of the 2 games today, but still a huge one for this football club. It's a 4-3, or no, it's not. It's a 3-5-2 for them. They're playing 1 holding midfielder and 2 centre mids behind 2 strikers. It's a tactic we used in our stream save with Woking at the start of FM23, and it was massively successful. So if they get anywhere near that tonight, we could be in a bit of trouble. The Champions League theme tune is blaring out. We're at a big ground with a big attendance. Will it be as hostile as it is in real life? Probably not, because their bottom of the group suggests that it doesn't have quite the same impact. Let's hope in this big game today and at the weekend, we can avoid another one of those ridiculous red cards. But for now, into the first half we go. The touchline tablet's causing trouble again, and Fenerbahçe are straight on the front foot with their skipper, as Goodmanson gets it on the right. What are the odds on Jimmy Campbell scoring against his former manager? Long ball forward which Simmons deals with. Not back to Robles. Not sure we needed to see all of that. But here is the goalkeeper for United. Throws out to Simmons, who's again been one of those who struggled with injuries a bit. And it has sort of harmed us a little bit. We're not quite as fluid. We're not playing quite as cohesively as we were previously. And now we've got a real chance with everyone fit to get Ocon in behind. Henry Ocon has scored a goal. Oh, he might be offside. The finish did seem a bit too good to be true based on his season. But the goal's awarded. We get away with one. 2.5 minutes gone. The perfect start away in Turkey. And we've got a corner kick now as well. Guido ignores the short one yet again. headed away as far as Smith, who's managed to stay fit for a couple of months. Famous last words. Demeter back into Ocon. He's hit the post from 2 yards. We're missing good chances again. We could really do with taking some of these. 10 minutes gone. It's been a flying start. But again, we've only scored 1 goal. We probably should have got more. As base out. Oh, there it is. It's happening all the time. Genuinely, it's not even happening to my team now. We're going to benefit from this. Fenerbahçe are down to 10. And I'm still angry about it. I can't explain to you what's changed. It's happening all the time. It's absolutely astonishing. There's so many stupid lunging red cards. And at the moment, with 5 to the break, I mean, it's completely taken the life out of this game. It's 1-0 to us. Hopefully, we can hold on for a clean sheet. It's just whether we can hit them on the counter because they're going to sit deep. And oh no, Robles gets away with one there. He was caught in no man's land. And to be honest with you, if we can concede and not win the game when we were ahead going down to 10, I mean, we don't deserve anything, do we? We've really struggled away from home in Europe. As Humphreys gets down the right to Demeter, can we wrap this up before the break? If we get a second, I'll bring plenty of subs on. Start resting people for Sunday. As Hodgkinson gets the ball into Baysal. Emir Baysal in, but the flag's up. And when the assistant gets the flag up before the VAR check, it normally means goal disallowed. And it did look it, to be fair. There we go. The goal is not awarded. And it's 1-0 at half-time. Still plenty to play for in this one. Of course, the benefit is, bar that one mistake we made at the back with Robles, we've not really given them a chance at all. We have dominated the game, but again, we're not taking our chances, and that's going to be a problem. Let's make some changes with an hour gone. We'll see out this highlight first, because you know my superstition. Hodgkinson gets it from Simmons. Looked a foul throw, but we'll carry on. As Hervenhoff, everyone camped in the Fenerbahçe half, carries it forward without any pressure, and goes for a shot himself. A little bit of a saw his name in lights moment there. It was straight at the keeper. It was pretty poor. And it remains 1-0. So let's go and make a few subs. Smith is struggling and on a yellow card. We'll bring on one heavier for him. Guido again has had a poor game. We're going to go Kakada. Ace out has struggled as well. He's going to be replaced by... I think we're going to go for Matthew Vella. I'm going to put Ocon on the left because he's the only other option. Vella on the right and Demeter up front. Want to give North the full day off. We're also going to look in defence at Develay. He's been struggling for fitness, so we'll bring on Kieran Jones. And I might do the other one as well. Yeah, we'll go Jones and Lima at centre-half. Keep the other two fit for the weekend. Well, this game is completely petering out. Just 2 minutes to go. The subs have taken all the life out of it. To be fair, the red card did first as well. A bit of a struggle that, again, we can't break down these sides. But without North in the side, we don't really look like a potent goal threat. Joseph Taylor missing as well. It doesn't help as Heavier hits the woodwork. And as we head towards full time, I've put the table up there. You can see we're comfortably into the top 16. PSG have snuck in there as well. But are we going to hold on first as Demeter picks it up? Chance to carry it forward. He's giving it away. Do not concede here. Don't you dare. Simmons gets it at left back. He's knackered. He's going to carry it forward. Can we get the ball upfield and score a second goal? Into 3 minutes of added time as Ocon puts in Kakada. He's someone who's playing far better than his ability would suggest. But this time it's intercepted. It's out to Simmons again. He carries it to the byline. There's 4 in the middle. Crosses towards Kakada. He gets up and heads over. And unfortunately, despite over 2 expected goals, we are held to just 1-0. Very difficult against 10 when they're sitting that deep. But another one of those silly red cards. And I hope it's not in reverse on Sunday because it wouldn't surprise you, would it? Well, we're not back for the Liverpool game. We're back a few hours before because there is a transfer offer in for a winger by the looks of it. Sebastian Andre offers from Real Madrid, Hoffenheim and United. I'm kind of hoping he'll be a left-sider because we've not got many. But given that De Bruyne was sold last summer, I've got a feeling it'll be a right-hand man. He is. Oh, he's both. This could be a gem of a transfer. From Dortmund, who were in the Champions League final last year. A squad player of 3-star ability. Cover on the left wing, can play on the right as well. Get it done. That would be... These are the sorts of players I want him to get. Go and get me good squad depth in the positions that we're struggling. There's a lot of competition, so I'm not sure we'll get him. But let's hope that this will be a big one, because if we get him over the line, we immediately become a lot stronger. Well, in the meantime, we are back to face Liverpool with Joseph Taylor not recommended to be selected. Manchester City are at home to Southampton, who are in the bottom 3. So you've got to suggest that if we don't win this game, we're going to be under real pressure at the top. But At least we can finish in the top two is progress. Liverpool away though is tricky. They're sixth in the league. They're a good side, but we did get them in the FA Cup final last year and we played them off the park. Can we do it here? Well, our job's going to be a bit harder because Hodgkinson's knackered. I am going to start him today, but he's only going to do an hour or so. It will then go on holiday. Simmons picked up an injury yesterday, so it's a good job he wasn't one of those we took off in midweek. It means Kieran Jones will have to cover at left back. Steinle, the new boy, is coming back on the right. We're also going to put Humphreys into the bench for Simmons. And then we look at the rest of it. Probably the two that aren't fit are the two that drop out. That is going to be our squad for today. Do I want to make the change up front? I want to go for Joel North, I think. And I'm going to take Guido out. He's in poor form. I know he played Liverpool off the park in that cup final. But Ocon number 10, Joel North up front. He continues to defy the odds with 21 goals. Let's go and submit the team. A big game away at Anfield, and anything other than a defeat is a very good result for me. Well, of course, it is a Liverpool side that is still fairly reliant on our former England stars in Devine, Clousdale, Tesgel. Danny Anderson, the youngster, is there, and they've got Rio Williams on the bench. They've also got that Georgian who always scores against us, so watch out for him second half. But let's go and tell the lads to prove a point. We'll start positive, we'll drop back if we need to, and hopefully we can just avoid defeat. That's all I really want from today. Well, 15 minutes gone. It's a Liverpool free kick, which Develay heads away and Hodgkinson brings clear. That was a very laboured touch. Maybe I've made a mistake starting him. Don't know why he's so poor for staying fit. He plays as a deep line playmaker, which isn't the most taxing role in the team. He's also a person who's got 16 for stamina and natural fitness, so it's baffling to me that he struggles the most. Maybe it's his England duties as well. Pressure of being skipper, I don't know. As Ocon brings the ball away to North. Basel's on the left, but he goes back to Hodgkinson. Ocon releases Demeter. It's a great ball. Marco Demeter is in. VAR will check it, but that crucial flag has not gone up. And that makes me think we might be all right. I'm sure there's a red card round the corner, so we can't get too excited. But it would be nice to have the lead. Marco Demeter. Oh, it's disallowed. They've fooled me. They've fooled me with it. I thought that was on. VAR controversy. Well, half an hour gone. Free kick for Liverpool. Wow, we didn't see any of that highlight. It was just returning as the free kick was being slammed in. Silva heads it in at the near post. And to be fair, in a game like this, conceding to a set piece is annoying. Now we've got the injury to Basel. If it's not the red card, it's the injury. That signing of Andre cannot come quickly enough, can it? The only option we've got is to put Ocon out wide again. He's the only one there. So he's going to go left. We'll put Guido in the middle. And hopefully he can replicate his last display against Liverpool. Certainly that one from the cup final. We've not been very good in this game. And every time we come back, it's a Liverpool set piece. So we must be giving away fouls galore. As Anderson just beats everyone there. Do you know what? I'm going to drop to balance to half time. We need to get in at 1-0 here. I don't know why we've given away so many fouls. But for now, it's not a good performance. It's a bit of a concern. But we've been here before, haven't we? Against the top half sides away from home, no matter what we've done in any season, we've not been able to find that solution. And it has been a constant thorn in our side at this club as we're back again for another Liverpool free kick. What on earth is going on there? Guido heads the ball away to Ocon. He can't get it. Silva finds Djibouti. Down the line to Demir. Anderson in the holding role. The young superstar gets it back to Silva, the goal scorer. It's up to Tesgel. Oh, it's Develay with the foul. How is that not given? Clear trip on him, but Demeter brings it away and then passes it straight back to them. I don't know what it is. Is it a mentality thing? Is it just we're not that good? We can't be that aggressive? Because at the moment, it's game over. It's 2-0 and we're going to take off the tired legs because Hodgkinson, he's pointless being there at the minute. We'll go for one heavier in his place. We're also going to take off, I don't really know who else. We've not got anyone that improves us. So I'm going to go back to positive. If we're going to lose, we play our way. Because while we're playing on the counter like this, we're just getting picked off. As Hervenhoff back into Develay. Hopefully Southampton can produce a miracle for us later, as that long ball is to nobody. But Liverpool playing dangerously at the back. Big ball downfield to Tesgel. Develay clears for Guido. Up to North. Has support from Demeter on the right. The ball's awful though. And I don't know why we saw all of that. We're trying to push forward. We're trying to do things right. But at the moment, we don't look like scoring. And it's the sad reality of this situation. This is why I keep showing you virtually all of the away games against the top half teams. Because they're the ones that cost us the season. I'm sure you like to see me in a strop, don't you? as Hervenhoff gets it to heavier. Long ball forward. I mean, I think you can see from today that the goal threat is definitely drying up. We only scored 1 in 3 of the last 4 games. We lost the other one 1-0. We've not really created much here, which even in other games we've been battered, we've generally done. And you can see the likes of Smith and Hodgkinson, the amount we're losing the ball in midfield, we look so leggy. And I'm hopeful that week's holiday for this first 11, if we can sneak through Peterborough with our backup team, it will really help us in the second half of the year. Liverpool on the front foot, the Georgian is on. He's not got his goal yet. Demir's challenged by Jones. North's clearance hits somebody. I mean, it's chaos. We look awful at the minute. I'm going to make a couple more changes soon, but the ball's into Tezgel for 3. Looked offside to me, but the flag didn't go up. So I think this is going to be given. Devilay's anxious and knackered. We'll bring on... Let's just do the youngsters now. Contreras centre-half. Hervenhoff switches sides. Demeter will come off for Vela. And then we'll bring on Sol Julien, who's barely kicked a ball for us. He will replace Adrian Smith. Baysal's injury could be defining for this season because if we don't get that Andre deal over the line, we've got nothing out there. Joseph Taylor's just coming back to fitness, but he's hit and miss on the left-hand side. And Joel North has had no service up front today as Vela the youngster finds Steinlein. Was Vela who equalised against Liverpool earlier in the season? It was the opening day, wasn't it? Won't be doing that this time as Julien heads it straight to Martinez. Apparently a superb move by United. It didn't look one to me. As Martinez gets the ball in goal, 10 minutes remaining. Oh, John, you're going to need a big deadline day, son. And this is the problem now. I'm immediately thinking, who of this first 11 is John going to sell to break my heart on Monday? As Vela gets in. Oh, he does score, to be fair to him. It's a cracking finish. Was he onside? For his sake, I hope he was, because he hasn't scored for a while. He is a super young player. He's a great talent. And that was some smashing strike. Goal awarded. Well done, Vela. That's something, because he's going to play in the FA Cup next week and his fitness will be crucial. As Silva gets the ball to Barcelona and Champ. There's the Georgian out to Rio Williams, another one of our former England stars. They're straight away down the left, Liverpool. Not happy with letting in a goal. They're going to get one at the other end. Kieran Jones prevents it. Big injury at the back, but Jones has been the best of the back 4. And Demir scores from the kick-off. Oh, it sums up the day. It's been coming the last few weeks. We've had multiple games, as I say, where George Robles was the man of the match. We get away with that one, though. It stays 3-1. And this has been a pretty chastening experience. Southampton, please hold Manchester City. Do something for me. And John, do not let me down on deadline day. A poor performance, a poor day at the office. But it's what we're used to away at these big sides. Back for deadline day and any news from John Murtough. Fingers crossed. Well, 11 hours to go, and the first news of the day is probably what I expected, but it's also pretty frustrating. It was a very straightforward decision as it benefits his family financially. We just cannot compete on that front with most of the other big clubs. We've also got the Champions League knockout draw. I'm going to skip it because deadline day is more important. It is AS Monaco we're going to be facing, who are 3rd in Ligue 1 at the moment. It is a league awash with money, to be honest. Monaco in the French league doing really well. PSG through as well. And to be fair, they've got loads of money about. The likes of Metz and Strasbourg really doing well. And they're both up in that top 7 too. So a lot of depth in that league, but PSG still the team winning it. If we go and have a look at the youngster joining the club, Perrin Verstegen is the left winger who's actually joining on deadline day. A little bit of a difference in quality, isn't there? Not sure he's going to get much first team football. Now, John, with 10 hours left, can you please deliver me a first team player? Notably, a winger or a left back. I'm about to lose my marbles. I am about to go absolutely crazy. 2 of the best young players have just been let go from the club. With 5 hours to go, there are only backup wide men as well. Not only have you not signed one, you've sold 2. One on loan, one permanently. Both of them academy products. Vela has gone out on loan. He sold Taylor for 11 million. 11 million pound. He scored 25 Premier League goals in 2 years and you've sold him for 11 million pound. Vela's gone out on loan to Brighton. Taylor's been sold. There's no offers for anyone with 5 hours to go. I'm done. The next big job that comes up, I'm going for it. John Murtough is the worst director of football I've ever had. He's taken the crown off Chris Casper. Chris, you're off the hook. Please, someone, just get me Pat Nevin. I need a little bit of common sense. What a disaster. I don't really care what happens the rest of the day now. Let's just get to the end of it and see when we're going to be back. What is going on here? I don't know what's happening. The mass exodus continues. He's loaned out Wilmer Contreras, who at the moment is the fourth centre-half and one of the backup options at left-back. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. He's letting all of the first-team squad go. Again, a window that started with hope, that started with a decent sign-in, has been finished by absolute chaos and a complete destruction of the playing squad. By my book here, we need to win the League Cup final and find a job in March. It's as simple as that. Well, if things weren't bad enough, after selling a left winger and striker, after loaning out a right winger and a centre-half, what does he do? That's right, he bids for another centre midfielder. Tumir Emir is not even a great player. Technically, he's not very good. He's another one who's short, who can't jump. But it doesn't matter, because the offer has been rejected. He'd bid £50 million for him. You've sold Joseph Taylor for 11, and you're bidding $50 million for that. What the hell is wrong with you, John? Right, are we going to have at least some form of redemption? There's 1 hour to go, and an offer is in for a player called Vidanov. It's been accepted. We can see at the top of the screen. Please don't be a centre midfielder. It's a left winger. Right, 35 million from Fulham. He's not very good. He doesn't suit the way we play. But he's determined. He can play attacking mid, left mid. He gives us a little bit of depth. I mean, why would you pay 35 million for him after selling an academy player for 11 million who covers the same position? There are some things that do just baffle my mind. He's paying 75 grand a week, which I think is more than Taylor was earning as well. There are a lot of questions to be answered, John, but with an hour to go, we'll take the player at this point. Well, maybe John is a bit of a vampire because he's come out at night. He's signed Vidanov, who has come in. I mean, it's a ridiculous fee for a player who isn't even as good as Joseph Taylor, who he's replacing for 3 times the money, who's not homegrown at the club. But he is a player who can be in the first team, and hopefully he's not cup-tied for the FA Cup next week. There is also an offer for Correa, who is a left-back at 25 years of age, 25 million quid. It's a position we need, but you know my big bugbear is a defender who hasn't got positioning. His positioning is 8, his marking is 7. I mean, it's Solace all over again, isn't it? He just can't defend, but it's a player, it bolsters the squad. I just wish that we'd kept the players we had, because those sales of Taylor and the 2 loans out, they're going to cost us this year, I can tell it. Doesn't matter anyway, the Correa bid is rejected, so no defender coming in to replace Contreras. 45 minutes left, that must be it now. Well, the deadline has passed. It started with one very good signing at right back, a few players leaving that I wasn't that worried about, but deadline day, as always with John, has turned into my worst nightmare. He spent 35 million on a very average left winger, who will be okay depth for the squad, but isn't as good as the homegrown player he sold for a third of the price. He's not as versatile either, and then he's added to that by loaning out Vela and Contreras and not replacing them. 3 players out, 1 player in is not the deadline day I was hoping for. The plan is this though, quite simply. We're going to get to the end of February, we're going to come back for Monaco at home and the Carabao Cup final against Newcastle. If all goes to plan and we can avoid injuries, I want to win that cup. Say at United, I've won the FA Cup, I've won the League Cup, but you've sold all of my squad, John. You've taken away the element I enjoy the most, which is bringing through these young homegrown players who are performing well. So I'm going to win a trophy there if all goes to plan, and then we are going to go on the prowl for a job offer because we're not staying top of the league, frankly. So we'll be watching this screen an awful lot from now. If you enjoy this episode, well, disappointment on the pitch to an extent. We did our job in the Champions League. We were beaten away at a top Premier League side. Surprise, surprise. And then deadline day, well, just a disaster. If you want to stay up to date with the rest of the season, please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. But for now, the big objective is win another trophy, make ourselves more desirable, and then get out of United before another John Murtough transfer window. I'll see you next time to see if we can stay on course for that plan.